Okay, if you're a projector and you're sitting around waiting for people to DM you after posting a few times on social media, girl, we need to talk. So pull up a chair. Let's have a little conversation about what the invitation truly means and how to create opportunities where the invitations come to you. This is going to be such a juicy conversation. In this video, I want to lay it out. How can you actually increase the more invitations, be more visible, be more seen, and not feel like you're actually going out and forcing anything to come to you, but it's really you being your projector self. Because I have to tell you, you are so magnetic. People absolutely will love you, but you're holding back, thinking that the invitation is something that it's not. So I want to clear it up in this video. Okay. Are we ready? Are we good to go? If you're new around here, I am Rachel and I use human design to help you create messaging and marketing and honestly a business that actually feels like you, that feels like you want to show up. It doesn't feel forced. It's fun and playful and it's aligned to your purpose and your energy. So follow if you want to talk more about human design and marketing, because that's all we talk about here. So let's get into the episode. Some of my favorite people in the world are projectors. My husband's a projector. One of my business besties is a projector. I feel like projectors are the type that really gets, I don't want to say a bad rap, but you get missed over. You passed over a lot, right? Because your energy is different than the gens and the mani-gens and even the manifestors. And reflectors are their own thing, but projectors get kind of passed over. You're not the ones that are going to walk into a room and suddenly everybody's like, whoa, that can be you, by the way, but it's not necessarily the thing that people naturally become on their own. It is something that you have to understand about your energy and how your energy works. And once you can work with it, girl, then you walk into a room and people are like, oh my God, I need to talk to this person. My business projector friend, she's this way. She walks into a room. She doesn't have to do anything. People are like, I need to talk to you. I need to talk to you because she's using her energy in the way that she's designed. She's not trying to force or convince or anything, but we're going to get into that. So the first thing I want you to think about, how are you operating within the marketing of your business? Most projectors in the coaching world, especially if you're a life coach, health coach, those types of online businesses, you have tried doing it the generator way, right? Where you have to be consistent and talking to pain points and the transformation. And you put up a couple posts and then you hope that someone's going to DM you and be like, I want to work with you. And then when those invitations, those DMs don't come, you start to wonder, am I talking about the wrong thing? Am I saying it the wrong way? Maybe I need to be more consistent and force more, or really go out there and actually make cold calls and cold DMs. And I'm not saying you have to do any of that, okay? You don't have to force anything. No one wants the forcing energy in marketing. No one wants to be sold to. I can guarantee you that. We don't want to be sold to. Hoping that someone sees it, hoping that someone's going to go, hey, can I work with you in your DMs? It's passive. I want to say this with so much love because I have the gate 39 as my sun gate, which means that sometimes things that I say can come off a little edgy, a little like you told me something I wasn't ready to hear. And so I want you to be ready to hear this, that is a passive way of sales, and passive way of sales is never going to grow your business. You don't have to necessarily cold DM, but you also can't sit here and make a few handful of posts with vague ideas of even what you do and expect someone to DM you going, I want to work with you. Okay. There has to be more to it than that. And I'm going to share more about how this is why it's happening, right? This is the biggest thing that I see with projectors. So if you're a projector, I want you to be really honest with yourself. How are you marketing? What do the offers that you're putting out there actually look like? How often are you showing up? Are you following a strategy? Are you just kind of throwing shit out there, hoping something sticks and maybe somebody will ask you? There is a way to do this in alignment with your energy. This is what I help clients with. This is what my Athena app helps you do. She helps you understand what is going on. How can you actually show up in alignment with your energy without forcing? Okay. So let's just ask the honest question on a scale of 1 to 10. Where do you fall in that realm? Like, where are you at in the marketing? Are you over here at 1 being, I make a post here and there. I don't really ask or tell people what I do. And if I do, it feels really awkward. It makes me really nervous to ask for a sale. 2, I'm showing up when I'm inspired to share. I have something deeply important to share with the world. I'm not at all attached to what anyone thinks of that piece of content. I'm putting it out there because it needs to be said. I'm making offers. I'm making it so clear what it is that I do. And when someone says, this post deeply helped me, I see that as a possible invitation and I take it the next step. I don't wait for people to throw themselves at me. This is the other thing I see as just like a caveat that like you're almost waiting for multiple invitations. Someone could come into your DMs and be like, this post was just hit me so deeply and I've resonated so much with it. And the projector will just leave it. They won't take it to the next step. Like, what about it? Like, what's going on with your life? And starting the conversation, they just, or they will coach too much, right? Like somebody will ask a question in their DMs and they will do a full-on coaching session in the DMs. And then the person feels satisfied and they leave and you didn't get paid or recognized for the amazingness that you just offered and delivered. As a projector, there is a balance between sharing your knowledge and creating curiosity that makes people go, I need to know how you see my life, my problem, right? So let's talk about a strategy to create more invitations in your life. What can you do that invites more people to invite you? It's such a paradox, isn't it? Okay. And this is how I coach my projector clients as well in their marketing and how they're showing up online. First things first, we have to understand what it is that you do, your expertise, your perspectives, your gifts, your talents, all of that. We have to understand what it is that you do, who it's for, and why the heck they need it. And a lot of the pushback I get from projectors is that they'll say, I don't think they don't need it. It's like they don't want to stand in confidence and conviction in what they do. They go, well, it may or may not work. I can't promise that it's going to work for anyone. You're right. You can't promise that it's going to work for everyone on the planet. I can't promise that either, and I'm not going to. However, I can promise that if you are open to being coached, open to trying things differently, understanding and being curious about your own energy and asking those harder questions, you will be able to figure out how to market in a way that feels like you. I can guarantee that. I can guarantee that if you come into my world and you're ready to be coached, you're ready to do the hard things, you're ready to let go of the old story, then absolutely we can create a marketing plan, messaging, all of it that feels like you and works. However, most projectors are little people pleasers. I love you to death, but you're out there trying to make everyone happy, which honestly, the only thing that does is make vague language, vague transformations, vague offers. No one really knows what you do. And so therefore, they're not going to say, hey, can I work with you? That might happen here and there, but it's not going to happen on a consistent basis. Clear offers, clear, specific. This, if you're struggling with this, and you want this is the offer, okay? Step number 1 has to be there, okay? And I promise you, it feels challenging to drill this in and figure out what the clarity on this. But once you do, it makes the selling not feel so forced. It makes it feel so much more like I am actually of service to someone because I know exactly what I do. I know if I can help someone or not. When someone comes into my DMs, I know if I can help them by asking them just a few simple questions. And if I can't, I'm not going to pitch them. Like, that's not the point. We're not pitching everyone. We're understanding what it is that we do so that we can help those people. Okay. Athena is really great for this, by the way. She's so good at clarifying and helping you understand when it's vague in your mind. She can help drill it in so fast and so easily because she gets it. She gets how the marketing language of it and what you do and finds that overlap. So that's number one. 2 more invitations is understanding and knowing this is exactly what I do. This is exactly who it's for. And so convicted in it, right? I think the other thing that I see projectors kind of like they're dabbling their toes. It's almost like they're afraid to really take a stand on something. And I want you to take a stand. I want you to be like, no, this is what I'm really good at. Really want you to like put your flag in the sand. That conviction, oh my gosh, can I tell you? Every single person, every single coach, woman, there's something about us that we lack conviction sometimes. I have myself lacked conviction in what I do, and I cannot tell you how much harder that made everything. It made everything so much harder. It made selling, messaging, offers, launches, the whole freaking thing so much harder versus knowing I know I'm really good at this. I know I can help these people. And now I can go out and make content for them and make offers in front of them because I know that I can help them. So that was number one. Number two, I want you to start thinking about showing your perspectives and creating curiosity. This is something I worked on with my business bestie a lot around creating curiosity, but also showing the way that you think because you think in a very unique way. We all do. We all have our own unique perspectives, but projectors particularly have a unique way of solving a problem, really understanding, seeing patterns, seeing the underlying thing that no one's saying. And I want you to start kind of voicing that. Hey, I noticed there's something here, right? You're struggling with this. Have you ever thought about XYZ? Or you want to, have a healthier body, but have you ever thought about your hormones? They're affecting you. They're affecting all the things, right? Understanding and creating a little bit more like, oh, I've never thought about it, right? You want to create that like spark in someone and then that's where you can create the curiosity door of, yeah, if you want to know how your hormones are affecting your weight loss story, like that's what I do. And then it's like, oh, I get it. I need to have you look at my hormone panel. Cool. Can we do that? So thinking about your own work, how can you spark more intention around getting someone to think differently? How can you think differently about this? Have you ever considered? Have you ever thought? Right. And then opening that door, like, that's what I do. You want to know, do you want help with your hormones? Do you want me to look at your hormones? Do you want, like, I'm beating that example to death, but do you want me to look at this? Asking those yes or no questions is so helpful because majority of people are Gens and Mani-Gens, right? We like that yes, no question. So the more you can kind of like in your CTAs, in your calls to action, putting a question out there, like, hey, like, would you want me to look at this? Would you want help with this? Have you considered that? Asking that yes or no question, it makes it so much easier for them to respond back and opens the door even more. Okay. Because once someone understands how you're seeing things and then you have the curiosity of like, ooh, well, how would that look for me? That's when you're going to have so many invitations of people going, I need to know. And that is not where you coach them. I want to add that in there because I was like, someone's going to coach right there. Someone's going to try and coach in the DMs. Someone's going to come and they're like, oh my gosh, can you look at my hormones? And you'll be like, yes, of course. I'll look at them. And you look at them and you all for free and you give them all this advice. And then they get what they need and they don't work. Like, girl, okay. So no, you're talking in the DMs and you're saying, this is what I do. Here's the offer. And that's when you can put the offer in front of them. Some of them will say yes, and some of them will say no. It has no merit on your worthiness, on your abilities whatsoever. It is so important that you understand this. Someone saying yes and someone saying no does not matter to your expertise in what you're here to do. I felt like I had a really hard time with that lesson. So I want to tell everyone needs to understand this. The yes and no, right? It has no merit on you and what you're here to do. You're still here to do amazing work. There are still people that need you. Go find them, right? Okay. Number 3. Responding. This kind of comes back to to coaching too much in the DMs, but a lot of projectors someone will say, hey, this is really interesting, but then you don't follow up, or you take a really long time, and I'm not saying that you have to be in your DMs all the time, but what I am saying is that don't sit on things, like move it along a little bit. Like, don't wait for them to ask more than once, like be proactive. This is the part of passive versus actually taking that action, especially if your business is new, 1 to 2 years. There is a small amount of like, okay, we just got to get up and do the action. It's something that going from corporate to entrepreneurship, you have to learn that there is just sometimes you got to get shit done and do it. Obviously, there's lines, and like, we don't want burnout. I don't want to burn out. Nobody wants to burn out, right? But how can you either put systems in place or to be able to support your people and show up? Don't just do a bunch of posts, get so exhausted, and then ghost your audience. The point is to find your rhythm that you can keep up with. And if that's every other day, every 3 days, whatever, finding that rhythm and going with it, being unapologetic about the amount of what that consistency look like for you is going to be so helpful to growing your audience, and not like just I posted and no one responded. Okay. Does that make sense? Like I see a lot of projectors thinking that because it says wait for the invitation and that they don't have a lot of energy, that they can't go out and do the work. You can go out and do the work. And I'm not advocating for hustle. What I'm advocating for is you trusting your body, trusting your path, trusting where you're going, and doing the dang thing, and not using I'm waiting for an invitation as an excuse. I see that sometimes too. So there's a line with everything, guys. There's a line. There's a line between the hustle culture and the like sitting on the couch doing nothing. Where's the line for you? You are the one that can discern that, and trusting your own process, trusting your own energy of when you can go, when you need to take a break. Okay. The last thing I want to talk about is this idea. This is the pushing and the forcing, because this is probably the last thing that like is blocking projectors from receiving invitations, is you don't want to push and force invitations. You don't want to push and force and convince people to buy from you or cold DM. And I get it. Like, I don't want to do that either. I don't want to push and force. I'm not convincing anyone to work with me. When you come to me, you're ready. You like the things that I've put out there. You like what I have to say, and you want to work with me. That's the point. So then how do you create that within your own business? And what I want to share with this to counteract this block of like, I don't want to push and force. How are you being visible? And this comes back to like, how much of this actual consistency are you coming up with? How are you being visible? Are you being visible in multiple ways? Are you being visible in one way? Right? And I think there's actually multiple ways that you could do this. I don't think there's a one right way whatsoever. But if you're only on Instagram and you're only posting twice a week, maybe once a week, how fast do you think you're going to grow? Probably not fast. Number one, it takes a while for you to figure out how to talk about your work in a way that people resonate with, as well as you getting comfortable writing it or talking on camera. It takes time, right? So if you're only posting on one platform 1 or twice a week, it's going to take a long time for you to kind of get through that muck. There's always muck, you guys, to get through until you're on the other side of like understanding how you want to communicate, what feels good for you. What does your audience respond to? I can't tell you how much I've learned by just posting things that I want to talk about in lots of different ways, and then seeing what really truly resonated with people and doubling down on that, right? If I only posted like a handful of times in a month, like it would take me so long to get that information. And by then, like everything has changed, right? Online landscape changes so fast. So I want you to ask yourself, like, how committed do you want to be to your work? I'm not saying that you have to work 40 hours and you only have no, just being honest with yourself and where you are in your business and what you have to give to the business and marketing. You can do a lot with a little bit of time. This is the other thing that I think projectors don't give themselves credit for. When you are inspired, when you know exactly what you do, how you help people, when that's clear, your purpose is clear, your offers are clear, how much you can get done in a very small amount of time without burnout. It is insane. Like I see when my husband, I mentioned that he was a projector. Granted, he's surrounded by many gens in this house with a lot of defined roots. He has a defined root as well. But when he is lit and we're on to something, we're doing on a house project, or he can get things done so fast. But then he needs to go take a break. He needs to decompress, right? That's what I'm talking about. You have so much energy. It just looks differently than a generator. There's nothing wrong with it. This whole idea that we have to be this, and don't get me started on being a woman versus being a man. And our cyclical cycles are so different as well, that you're, this 40 hours a week and 2 days off, and we're supposed to be... No one works like that. I don't even think dudes work like that. I think it's just someone prescribed it, thought it was a great idea, and now the entire culture runs on it. It's crazy town to me. So with entrepreneurship, I want you to find your rhythm of consistency and how you want to show up. That's the point. When a projector is convicted in what they do, knows exactly what they do, their offer, they're confident in the way that they're showing up, wherever that is, being confident in having those conversations with people, making invitations to others, right? Is this something you want help with? If not, no, that's fine. Totally cool. But I think so many projectors are even worried to make the invitation to someone else. No one said that you can't make an invitation to someone else. You can say, hey, do you want help with this? If they say no, they say no. Why? Who says you can't do that? I don't know. I could talk on a soapbox for that one. But my point is, do not use the wait for an invitation as an excuse not to market your business or to show up and share your knowledge, your expertise, your way of thinking and making offers. Okay. What I'm telling you is also don't be coaching in the DMs. That's not an invitation that is going to lead to you feeling good, right? An invitation is an exchange of energy. So if someone is coming to you wanting free advice, you're giving that free advice. That is not an even exchange. We want an even exchange. So they're coming to you, asking questions, wanting to be coached. You say, cool, here's how we can do that. And then they come into your container and now it's an even exchange. Now you don't feel bitter. Now you feel like they're hearing you, right? You have to be the one to kind of set those parameters and those boundaries around the invitation. Does that make sense? There's so much we could get into. And if there's something in this that you're dive deeper, tell me more. Drop it in the comments. I can make another video. Yeah, I think I've said all I need to say around being in the invitation. But I do have another video if you want to more on this whole invitation and what could be stopping invitations from coming to you and understanding it more. I have another video on the projector invitation. Go watch that. And Athena helps you do this all in real time. You don't have to wait for me to ask questions. You ask Athena. She's my brain. She's my second half. She will help you understand your chart and apply it to your messaging and your marketing. So I'll leave the link for that below, and we'll see you in the next episode.